What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive and faster than a speeding bullet SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. And for today's majestic and fantastic video, we are continuing with DC's epic event, Dark Crisis. But hold on a minute, rather it's Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. Title change, issue number 5. But before we get started, if you are new to the channel, then smash that like and subscribe button. That way you guys never miss out on anything that's happening on this lovely majestic channel. And because we managed to cross over 1,000 subs, let's raise the bar and go full on Super Saiyan as we try to reach 200 more subs before the end of 2022. Basically, don't be rude and don't be a villain. Be a freaking hero. Hit that subscribe button. Thus, without further ado, let's dive into the world of Dark Crisis, issue number 5. Our story picks up after the rebirth of the Infinite Earths, within the center of Multiverse 1 on Earth 0. More specifically within Earth 0, we check in with Black Adam, who right now is being swamped by Deathstroke's forces, along with those among the Legion of Doom, because, remember guys, back in the last issue, Deathstroke infected the entire Legion with the Great Darkness, turning the villains into mindless enslaved soldiers. And despite bringing down the thunder by yelling Shazam over and over again, Sinestro being the jerk that he is,
Your balls.
Oh, grow up, Sinestro. I know that was you.
shuts him up with a yellow construct, sealing the mouth of Black Adam. However, right before Black Adam is about to meet his end, the anti-hero is saved by a squad of heroes who've been sent through a portal. And holy crap, is that Sideways? Oh my god, remember that guy? Yeah. Anyways, heroes arrive through a rift created by Sideways. And with that, the heroes get the hell out of Dodge. Picking up at the Hall of Justice, Black Adam is demanding to know why the heroes saved him. Like, why did you guys help me after I called you guys a bunch of turds and children? Not to mention that, I also want to align myself with the Legion of Doom and have to save this glorious world because you guys suck. But Nightwing lets him know that it's because we're heroes. And, that's what we do. Plus, if it was up to the Legion of Doom, they would have left you for dead. However, Nightwing also has an ulterior motive for this mission because during the rescue fight, Mr. Terrific's T-Spears were able to get a quick scan of Deathstroke and his army. And basically they were able to determine that Deathstroke is the cause of everything. He's the one who's spreading the darkness, which is also causing the dark energy at the edge of the multiverse to grow. And so with Mr. Terrific warning that they're on the edge of a massive crisis, Nightwing tells Oracle to put out a call to every hero that she can reach, and to let them all know that they need to come together at the Hall of Justice. And yes, you are correct. Nightwing is definitely expecting a round 2 against Deathstroke. Picking up in the ruins of Multiverse 2, Pariah watches over as the formation of his Infinite Earths is making progress. And after shitting on the captured Green Lanterns, calling them dumb stupids and whatnot, that's when the Great Darkness reaches out to him, as Pariah assures the Cosmic Force that he will keep his promise, and the crisis will come because although the Green Lanterns are right about the Justice League reuniting, Pariah is actually counting on it. Thus we pick over on Batman's Paradise World, where Barry Allen is trying to make Bruce Wayne realize that the false illusion that Pariah has trapped him in, and the other heroes, it's all fake, but it's to no avail. And that's when Batman pulls out a gadget that he built since his last encounter with the Flash, which starts to pull at Barry's Speed Force, essentially depowering him. But because of this, Hal realizes that Bruce Wayne remembered Barry and was able to prepare, which gives him the indication that Batman still has some of his memories, which means that this false paradise and its illusion is fading. Therefore, Hal Jordan is able to use his indomitable willpower to connect to the light of his power ring, and he is able to transform himself back into the Green Lantern. And from there, Hal shows Batman the construct of his true Bat family. It's able to break Pariah's hold. With Bruce now recognizing Hal and Barry, they ask for his help to free the rest of the Justice League, questioning how they can make everyone else realize that these worlds are a lie, to which Bruce lets them know that they need the help of someone who's an expert in drawing out the truth. That being, of course, Wonder Woman, because the lasso of truth. Get it? Picking back up at the Hall of Justice, most of the heroes and various allies have answered Oracle's call. And it's here where Mr. Terrific lets everyone know that with more and more Earths returning, the multiverse is expanding like an infection. Thereby, the Dark Crisis energy is spreading across like wildfire, and it's closing in on them as we speak. So if we want any chance of survival, then we must break up into teams because someone has to go to investigate the spreading darkness at the edge of the multiverse and try to contain it. And that's where Alan Scott and the Justice Society step up to handle that mission. And once they leave, the Teen Titans show up to ask Nightwing's permission to join the upcoming battle. But we have more heroes joining in as well, because it's here where a recovered Beast Boy who's wearing an eye patch shows up, because he wants to join because he's got a score to settle with Slade. And with Dick embracing his best friend, the Teen Titans welcome back their favorite teacher. Suddenly, that's when John Kent, the two Swamp Things, and Raven come rushing into the room, after having discovered the Great Darkness is not controlling Pariah. Rather, Pariah's mind has corrupted the cosmic force. However, though they weren't able to find out the exact how or the why to a T, they did extract the antimatter chamber that Pariah built on his world during the first crisis, which ended up triggering the destruction of the original Infinite Earths. Now, eventually, King Deathstroke and his army of supervillains and those among the Legion of Doom bust through the front gates of the Hall of Justice, reminding the heroes of the past and present and future that he warned them on what would happen if they try to stand against him. But Nightwing lets the heroes know that no matter what happens, Deathstroke is the ultimate target, because the heroes think that if they cut off the head of the dragon, it will stop the spread of the darkness, and the dragon, of course, being Deathstroke. However, Black Adam stands in their way, proclaiming that they're fools and that they're marching to the depths, and even goes on to say that he's seen the horrors that the Great Darkness has inflicted, and it will spread to each and every one of them like it did with the Justice League and the Legion of Doom, making clear that this battle is lost and that they need the power of the gods to even come close to surviving, reminding them that they are not the Justice League and that the multiverse can't be saved by children. But Nightwing tells Black Adam the truth being that, we never were the Justice League. We were the Titans, and whether if there's a league or not, heroes are needed, and thus, all-out war breaks out between the heroes and the Great Darkness. Picking up on Superman's Paradise world, we find that Clark is on the Kent farm, and he's admiring a picture of his family. But that's when Batman, Green Lantern, and the Flash try to approach Superman with the help of their newly freed Wonder Woman. But Clark tells Diana to put away the lasso of truth because the Man of Steel has already realized that this illusion is not real. And thus Barry fills him in on the fact that these worlds are also ticking time bombs of crisis energy, and doubts that Pariah actually understands the full scope of what he's done. But regardless, they have to stop the delusional man, once and for all. However, the only problem is that although Barry can move the heroes in between worlds, he can't get enough speed to get them all out of their prisons. But Clark lets Barry know that he's done enough, and thanks to him and Hal for bringing them all together, it causes the Green Lantern to notice how surprisingly calm Clark is. But Bruce lets him know that the only times when Clark is calm is when he's really, really angry. Thus, we have Superman revealing that during his time on this world, he tried to escape so many times, but the prison just wouldn't let him. So instead, Clark used his time to study it, discovering that although Pariah used their minds to create these dream worlds, he didn't think that they would ever come lucid like Clark has, with Clark demonstrating his newfound ability by powering himself up with crisis energy, and he is manipulating the world around him into an empty void. Basically, Superman's a badass, and he's more like a Dr. Manhattan. And he lets his teammates know that these worlds are the only prison as far as their imagination would let it, mocking Pariah for giving them a happily ever after and thinking that it'd be enough to keep him trapped in a false reality. But it was still a world without the Justice League, as Superman lets them know that if they focus on what's real, aka their friends, then they can use their mental connection to the construction of these worlds to pull the rest of the Justice League together in one place, which will break down these false realities. And so picking back up on Multiverse 2, Pariah asks the Great Darkness to speak to him, questioning whether the cosmic force is satisfied that their wishes have come true. But that's when Pariah notices that his worlds are destabilizing and realizes that he needs more heroes of Earth Zero to build more Paradise worlds in order to power up his machines. And so with him planning on using what's on hand first, aka the Green Lanterns of Kyle Rayner and Joe Mullion, that's where we see the arrival of a reunited and reborn Justice League, which enrages Pariah to the max because his machines needed their power to restore the infinite Earths. But as Superman tells him to stop this madness, Pariah knows that his plans are far from over, letting the League know that during their last encounter, he truly killed them, and their current existence is tied to these new worlds. So if they are destroyed, the Justice League will then be erased. And even at that moment, Pariah is still confident that in close time, his curse will be lifted from the restoration of the multiverse and he can finally know happiness once more. But Superman questions the cost at which such happiness will come. Is Pariah's happiness worth more than innocent lives? Well, the answer is obviously no, because Pariah sucks, but I digress. Thus, this causes Pariah to ask the Man of Steel why he denied the gift of a chance at happiness that Pariah gave him. But Clark lets him know that it wasn't real, and neither is what the Great Darkness promised him. However, Pariah ignores him and remarks that his hopes have finally been answered, and that the crisis calls to him, making it clear that whatever happens next will be on the Justice League. And like any classic cosmic villain, Pariah manages to escape. Now, with the Justice League wondering where Pariah went, Superman lets them know that the powers that Pariah received from the Monitor have pulled him towards a world on the verge of destruction, and he has managed to pull his Dark Army alongside him. So with Kyle Rayner mentioning Pariah's blabbering about needing more heroes, the Justice League knows exactly where Pariah went to get them. And realizing that they need to get home ASAP, Joe Mully reminds him of Pariah's warning that the League will be erased if the infinite Earths that he created gets destroyed by them abandoning the machines. Picking back up on Earth Zero, amid the all-out war that's happening, Black Adam reluctantly comes to the aid of the heroes as they try to find a path to Deathstroke. And despite Nightwing's best efforts, Deathstroke is able to spread the darkness to the heroes, which from there starts the main crisis. And with that, Pariah and his possessed generals of the Dark Army, villains like Darkseid, Spectre, King Deathstroke, Doomsday, and many, many others, all the big bads of the DC Universe arrive at Earth Zero, backed up with the hordes of the dark supervillains and shadow demons. Ooh. And that, folks, was the end of Dark Crisis and Infinite Earths, issue number 5. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly, truly means the world to me. Once again, Joshua Williamson nails another issue of Dark Crisis. As I've said many times prior, it's obvious that Williamson knows these characters inside and out. He knows Nightwing, he knows Superman, Flash, etc., etc. One of the main themes that this event addresses is the concept of death and how people react to it. And though the characters undergo a sufficient amount of trauma, in the end, the heroes, end up doing what needs to be done. They get up and fight. And a great example of this is Black Adam. Obviously, the changer of the DC hierarchy is going through a lot of trauma right now, with having witnessed the death of the Justice League, and despite his actions going to lengths like join the Legion of Doom and straight up dumping on John Kent and the remaining heroes, Black Adam eventually accepts the situation, and he fights. He fights for the DC Universe's survival, which is pretty cool. Another thing that this issue does is giving every hero something to do. I mean, obviously Mr. Terrific isn't as important as Dick Grayson in this, but a lot of the side characters like Mr. Terrific and the two Swamp Things, they all have something to do and they all have something to contribute to the overall story, which I appreciate. And I gotta hand it to Josh. He's very fair when it comes to the ensemble cast of characters. Overall, great stuff. But yeah, as always, I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 6? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. A giggity go.